Well, hello everyone. You have right here. I'll talk about right here is the White House right here, and it talk about for the President Trump's State of the Union address that if he would be making a speech, I guess that will be next Tuesday when he would be making a speech for the State of the Union address. You talk about for Congress and anything going on with in Washington, and as well as anything for about the Democrats and Republicans side, and anything else about education and about the our U.S. military, other things that talking about, especially around President's Day. I know that around President's Day that talks about is that anything else that's going on, but I know that a lot of times it seems like that yeah, whenever the president comes on TV, a lot of times he's going to be interrupting a favorite one of your favorite TV shows when it's going to be broadcasting, and like we warned too that yeah, sometimes that the president is going to be on TV, and sometimes that he could the show could be interrupting one of your favorite TV shows, and it could be maybe American Idol or Family Guy or some TV show like that. But still, though, that I know that. As I say to anybody that may warrant to where if I'm going to be watching TV and then let's just say that, yeah, the president's going to be coming up on TV. And so I could say that, yeah, yeah, and let's just say that, originally that, due to my, class schedule, let's say if it was for class, I'm like, let's just say that, if I'm supposed to be studying for maybe for a history test or something like that. And usually that, like on a Tuesday night, around January, that most students would not have very much homework to do, but let's just say if they did, and want to know just a little bit too, to where whenever the president comes on TV, and like say, yeah, that, the president will maybe say that, yeah, that, you pretty much, just to be able to watch the president's speech, that this is what you pretty much had to do, is that, yeah, spelling test, or it could be a history test, or maybe a library book that had to be due back within a certain time or something like that. And then I wanted to that yeah, that if you could maybe get out of class maybe for an hour just to be able to watch the president's speech on TV. But still, I know that whenever the president comes up on TV, that you do one or two a lot of times, is that whenever the president comes up on TV, that if you're going to maybe have the TV on for about maybe for an hour or two, or something like that, and before the president takes a stand, he'll be able to deliver his speech to the American people. And so sometimes let's just say that if the case was is that yeah, that by every year that we would expect to see the president come up on TV to deliver the State of the Union address, but let's just say if it was interrupting your favorite TV show or something like that. But still, I know that with me though that if it's possible that yeah, that while you're watching TV, and then let's just say that if the president is going to come up on TV, and sometimes, so it seems like despite about who you voted for during the election, or maybe if it's related to homework wise, and sometimes it seems like that yeah, that just like the assemblies, yeah, the class assemblies. I'm sure most of us remember that the class assemblies, that whenever you go to those assemblies, a lot of times it seems like that there's those students or whoever that's putting on the assemblies, that they do all kinds of things. They are speeches and doing different tricks, and as well as different dances and all that. I'm sure we've all remembered those assemblies there at the school, and that was just another way of saying is to where if you want to class for an hour, then you'll be able to go into the gymnasium, just to be able to watch, these students, the cheerleaders perform their dances, that sort of stuff. But still, that you have right here's the TV right here, and so you have right here's the TV, and I know that anybody say if you're going to be listening to the radio, live radio, or maybe watching television right here. So you have right here's example right here of say the White House right here. And talking about with the president though, and so I say for President's Day, and so it seems like this toward it that yeah, that if you're going to be able to listen, go to like maybe sites like CNN.com or maybe FoxNewsNetwork.com from your phone, and or it could also be maybe on the radio, or if they streaming live or something like that, and then you're able to listen up a little bit about that. So it seems like that they got all kinds of things nowadays to where you just can't really miss the speeches or anything else that's going to be broadcasting. But I tell you one thing though, that really though that they got a lot of things nowadays to where that really what is counted towards your grade. And so any students that even if it's possible that if you have a meeting or a doctor's appointment, that next morning. So let's just say that it was after 10 o'clock. Around after 10 o'clock is whenever the President's State of the Union address was over. He was done talking around 9:30 or maybe 10 o'clock, and a lot of people probably had to go that next morning to maybe to a doctor's appointment, maybe to a meeting or anywhere like that. And want to know too that why should they stay up past 8 or 9 o'clock just to be able to listen to the speeches and listen to what they're talking about in Congress, anything like that. But I know that back whenever I was young, that I guess if you want to kind of call it, is to where that that was like what you call the good reasons to where that you would watch the president, listen to the president talk about certain things. And yeah, that if you want to kind of call it that, is to where that just like if it's you're watching the eclipse, or if it's anything related to about anything else that is maybe sports. I'm like, yeah, that like I one or two that reasons to why that you'll be able to get out of class for an hour is to go to the meeting. And I say, yeah, going to meetings. I'm like, going to meetings is probably not everybody's favorite. Going to going to a certain conference. I'm like, any sorts of meetings or trainings or something like that. And, but still, that I know that what the president could maybe say too is to word it, a few of your plans had been rescheduled or postponed or delayed or canceled or something, maybe due to the weather, but then also that whenever the president comes up on TV, and sometimes it seems like that really though, that whenever the president comes up on TV, it seems like President Trump, though, that whenever he comes up on TV, it seems like he's delivering the messages, delivering the message to the American people, such as to where that really, though, that I'm like, yeah, almost like he's telling everybody that you make sure that you sign up, and I want you to let's get the job done and get it done right. Sign up and get it going, and so it seems like a lot of times that really though that. Whenever I listen to the president's speech, a lot of times it seems like that that each one of us has to do our fair share, our part of the job, and besides paying the taxes, the other one could also be about maybe authorization forms. The other one could also be about is toward that about your signature counts, and so I don't know if the president is going to maybe say that, but talk about for the signature counts. The signature counts, no matter if you're just writing a date on something that you're going to go ahead and just say that the signature counts. So let's just say that that whenever you watch the president on TV, it seems like it's just not the same. And you say, yeah, you may get a clear picture, but what exactly is being graded? I mean, let's just say that if the president were to be on TV for maybe for a little over an hour. So let's just say that if you're going to be watching the president, you got right here is the sketch right here, and if I were to be watching the president, you wake up. I say usually it's at night though. So in case anybody say that, that usually the State of the Union address, that's usually broadcast after 5 o'clock or so. So let's just say that if I was getting ready to have dinner, that's around dinner time for most of us. You say if that's usually around the time that you'll be working on your homework, and you turn the TV on just to see what the president had to say about something. And want to know just a little bit too, to where that he might say is to where, don't touch the remote control, everybody. I'm speaking. I'm talking here. So let's just say if he was delivering a message to all the American people, and let's just say if it's an important message, and he might say that, don't turn that remote control, that don't change the channel, everyone. I am speaking. And so I guess it's basically like, whenever the president was supposed to, the broadcast station, and he basically says is to where that this is supposed to be a discussion for what's going on in this country, and you don't need to be changing a channel. Even if you got to take care of something else important, whichever it is. But I'll tell you one thing now, Mike, and I know that maybe not everybody really voted for Trump, but still though that if anybody who may voted for Hillary, I might have voted for Clinton as well, but still that you've spotted about who's president. That whenever you see the president on TV, a lot of times, and I notice that a lot of times that it seems like a lot of times that you're able to watch him on TV and then compared to actually being there and then maybe listening to him on the radio, and want to know too that really anything that he may mention maybe in the magazines, newspapers and magazines. Yeah, I really, I wonder that just a little bit too, to where that like I say that really you can't really miss a speech, but still that why is it that possibility that he's going to maybe give all the American people this order to where that they had to tune into on their TV channels, their TV stations, and maybe enter into time from whenever you started watching TV and at a time that you let the television. So let's just say that if there's going to maybe be something like that, to where that the time that you president's speech on TV delivering the State of the Union address, that watch time is going to be recorded on the TV device. And so let's just say that for anything that the president wanted to talk about, and the first thing that he might mention too is to where, sorry to interrupt your broadcast station, everybody, but I would need to talk to the country about something important. So it's like, say, that I can go ahead and draw right here, like this right here would be like an American flag right here in the background. But whenever the president comes up on TV, a lot of times it seems like that he's like talking about a few things, and but still, out of those few things about what he's been able to accomplish during the time is he's in office, but then also that it seems like that what he's basically saying is that is he saying that we need to do our fair share of getting the bills passed? Is he kind of saying as to where that something like well, if I'm delivering a message, that means that you're not allowed to change the channel. So whenever the principal comes up on the intercom, it basically means is to where they do not interrupt me while I'm talking. This is so that besides the principal, but still another way of how to I guess anybody say that another way of how to get out of class for an hour, that you can go ahead and go into the gymnasium and go into the principal's office, just kind of listen to them talk about certain things. But still, whenever you're going to be watching a speech on television in your own home or anywhere you're going to be at, maybe in the airport or maybe in the library, and you're likely wondering too that there is such thing as what you call turning the TV off or some sort. But still though, that I know that we should not really feel very uncomfortable, maybe in our, especially listen to the radios. And if you are going to be listening to the president's speech by radio, and sometimes it seems like that, that whenever he's talking, that he's wanting to deliver the message to all the American people. But still, though, that sometimes it seems like that, whenever you're going to be, if you got a test that you got to study for, or maybe if it is something else, maybe related to a job application or something else that you're taking care of, and want to know just a little bit too, Mr. President, that I got to get up around 7 o'clock, in the morning, tomorrow morning, to take care of something. So whenever the president's going to be giving a speech, he may not get done speaking until about 10, 11 o'clock that night. So just think about it as to where another excuse to get you away from your homework. And if you want to kind of call it that, I don't really know that in case of anybody that are to where that, is the president really responsible for writing out excuses to all the students about that you had to be excused just to be able to watch the president speak, whichever it is. I'm like, about how many how many kids out there are really going to have a homework assignment that requires them to watch TV during most of the time? And if anything, that maybe for the spelling contest or anything about cartoons, of the alphabet, whichever it is that they're going to have on TV nowadays. But I'm also talking about that with it, whenever the president delivers a speech, that I remember this back when I was young. It was whenever Clinton was president, and I can remember seeing him on TV, and it was like, do I remember a lot of times whenever he interrupted your favorite TV show just to talk about something? I'm like, maybe once or twice, but whenever he came up on TV, it seems like really just too young just to really understand and know exactly what the president was talking about. Because during that time, I can remember some of this stuff too. During that time, it was that with the president, President Clinton, that he was talking about all that stuff about Sudan, and he was also talking about I think it was not Afghanistan, but it was another country that he would. There was a war going on out there, somewhere like that. But still, if I can remember right, he was talking about that Sudan, and then he's talking about other things that were going on, and yeah, that sometimes if we're talking about sometimes if it was after 7 or 8 o'clock at night, then you're likely worrying too that yep, that if you're watching TV when around the time of dinner time, and I can thinking too that you turn the TV on maybe to watch the news or maybe to watch one of your favorite TV shows, or and I know most cartoons do not broadcast until that morning, but nowadays it seems like that whenever you're tuning in live, and what does live basically mean? It means that that you are connecting to where that like Fox News Live, you're actually listening to what's actually going on there, and they say that it's basically, it's not really like, it's not how we want to describe live. It basically means that you're actually listening to the audio and actions going on there from their site, where it's actually they're bringing you that news coverage right there and then. It's not really being recorded, but I guess to say that if anything, it's promptly recorded. But anyway, if you're going to be tuning in live, that basically means is that you're able to listen up to what's going on in the treasurer, like if they pass a bill or something like that. So anything that's going up there in the White House, that you're able to listen to a lot of that coverage on Fox News or CNN live coverage or something like that. CNN Live, that all these news channels that you're able to listen and able to hear what they're talking about. And so they have all this radio communication as well as television communication. So another way of how you want to describe is toward getting out of class for an hour, or if anything that somebody that may ask me that, if you want to go ahead and be dismissed from class or dismissed from the test, whichever it is, that the president is going to be on for at least 2 hours. By next Tuesday it is, I guess he's going to be on for 2 hours that night, to talk about a few things, deliver the State Union address. And so that's just a thing. By every morning, whenever you go to school, that you might sing the Star Spangled Banner, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. But still, that I know that, that whenever you watch the president speaking, though, it's like a lot of times that, you ought to, just to be able to get the job done. I guess he's talking to a few of the Americans, or like say, talking about what's going on. But still, that I know that somebody that may even say too that even though if you didn't vote for the person, or if anything, you take the time to listen to what they had to say, but still, though, that I know whenever I'm watching the State of the Union addresses, a lot of times it seems like that almost everybody else would agree about what the president had to say after he delivers 45-minute to an hour speech. But then whenever the Republicans come up on TV, it's one point of perspective about that. And then they might say too that that the president's mentioned everything that's been going on during the course of the years, and since he's been in office, since he took office in 102, that all the what he said, he was, what he didn't talk about, but still, that I guess really though I wonder too just a little bit is maybe if the president is the president reading off of a script, or if anything that he's basically delivering his own speech in his own manner. But the way I think about it too is that watching the president's speech on TV, and I'm sure that you say that be compared to that, and then maybe listen to it on the radio. Whenever you're going to be listening to the president's speech on the radio, that you can't really see a picture of what's going on there, and that's why that they encourage anybody that if you're able to listen to him on the radio, but still that just a way of how the president wants to mention something, or how he wants to say that we need to do some changing for our security, or maybe for the internet, or maybe talk about for the future, that sorts of stuff. And so sometimes it seems like that listening to the radio or reading it in the papers, that you're likely one too, that you can't really miss anything that he's talking about, really. But still, that I know that whenever you're going to be reading anything about the president, talk about for address, or if it's by for President's Day, that whenever I was young, that I used to always think that, okay, Mr. President, you do what's okay, thanks for delivering the speech, but at the time it seems like he's telling everybody that, hey, quit sitting around and get the job done. Quit standing around. We all got work to do, and you need to do your part. And at the time, it seems like that's just a little bit, maybe just a little bit of what he's saying too. Is that whenever it comes to delivering the State of Union address, but still, that whenever it comes to progress reports, then you want to know about what the president had to say about that. And you say, if I can remember right, the president mentioned something about healthcare, and then also about gun rights, and as well as maybe if it is a little bit of migration laws, something like that. But still, I know a few things that he mentioned, but still, that I do wonder just a little bit too, to where that you might talk about it about every year. Some is going to talk about, but really that I guess the only thing that really can be, I guess you're going to be talking about it, but what are we really changing here? I'm like, are we really just saying that okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign a bill and this should fix the problem? Or if it's all about is to word that not everybody got the message, you wanted to word it, why is it that that maybe those same lyrics of some sort have to be repeated, each and every time, each and every year, about stuff that's going on that somebody wants to see change and see improved, something like that. But still, though, that whenever you're going to be watching something on TV, and I know any case of anybody that may ask me that, a TV is not really the same as compared to being there at that location, but still, if you're going to be watching something on TV, and at 102 is that, really, are you going to take a picture of what you see on TV, or are you going to do like a little video recording of what you see on TV? Yeah, that source is the same, but still, that whenever you're going to be looking at your television set right here, and this is a picture I drew right here of a television set, but whenever I do look at watch TV on my television set of the president speaking, it seems like that that's the stuff that you would normally do on a VCR, on a video recorder, on one of those TiVo devices, is maybe record the president's speech. But just say if you don't have one of those, or if anything that for any reason at all that you think that okay, about the president, though, if he's going to be delivering a speech for longer than an hour, but still that whenever you're going to be watching the president, and sometimes I kept thinking too that by next Tuesday that if I got classwork I gotta do, or if I gotta take care of something else important, I guess does that mean that you are excused from what you had to do from earlier, so that way you can watch the president, listen to the president talking? And so, as I say, yeah, if anything, that it's only like once a year for the State of the Union address, and then if he's going to be delivering more speeches later on. So it seems like, yeah, that most of the time with most televisions, they say that, yeah, we interrupt your broadcast, for an important message, whichever it is. It could be the maybe severe weather or something like that, but still, though, that I know that in case of somebody were to say that, yeah, well, they did not even vote for Trump, whichever, but still, you respect the person for being our president. So it's like say that, yeah, that even though for those who voted for Clinton, or if they voted for somebody else in the ballot, that you wanted that, yeah, that watching the president's speech on TV, and sometimes it seems like that, that's like what you call, like maybe one reason to why that you would say that you're going to go ahead and stay up past 8, 9 o'clock at night just to be able to listen to the president deliver his State of the Union address. And even with the younger kids also, like they wanted too, that most of the time kids are in bed at least by 9 o'clock, just to get up for school in the morning. But still, but let's just say that that by Tuesday night, that they say that that if anything, that they'll be in bed by at least 1 o'clock, and I know they say that you'll be in bed at least by 11, to get up, so I know that in case they say that, yeah, even the president's kids, who has ever grandkids, kids, they say that, yeah, it's like, yeah, well, really though, if you're going to be up past 9 o'clock, maybe at the meeting, or maybe if you had training that night, then you had to get back up at 7 o'clock, just to go to additional training or whichever it is, exercise, appointments, or whichever it is. But really though, that parents are going to need to be parents, that you say that, just because that, yeah, you can still come to this meeting, but then you still have to get up at 8 o'clock that next morning to go to the other meeting or anything else that you got to do. But still, that the way I think about it too is that, really though, in case if anybody wanted to, where that you'll be able to write to the president, and I know with me they'll be able to write to the president, and anybody say, yeah, anything about what you call, related to a show and tell source event like that, yeah, show and tell, anything about show and tell. Well, show and tell, it basically means that you show them something that if the class has ever seen it before, and you're likely wanting to, or yeah, a letter from the president, or maybe if it could have been the White House dining schedule, whichever it is. I'm like visits to the White House, or maybe the Washington Post, newspapers. Yeah, I know it. How many of us have brought that to school for show and tell, and how many of us will maybe say that newspapers are boring? Why? Yeah, if anything, you can bring a radio to school for show and tell or something like that. Maybe a little portable TV, or maybe glow-in-the-dark pen, or if anything, a newspaper. But still, how many of us will maybe say that, yeah, they've already seen a newspaper, but what the newspaper that shows that the news headlines, about the president right there. But anyway, but talk about for live right here, and I know that in case anybody say that, yeah, watching the president live, and what I know is like what you call the true American heart. But other than that, it's like talk about for God bless America, but and God bless the United States of America. But anyway, thanks for watching.